Ah, the magic of beer day.
Picture this, a celebration filled with surprises from friends and family that exudes joy and excitement like a piñata full of candy. It's not just about cake and awkward singing, it's those unforgettable moments that tie us all together like a really strong piece of string cheese. And speaking of magic, let's take a ride to Nigeria, where electric vehicles are zooming into the spotlight. Yes, folks, it's not just light bulbs going off in people's heads, it's advancements in technology and clean energy, reflecting a new love affair with modern solutions. It's like switching from flip phones to smartphones, only this time, we're saving the planet. Now, in the global electric vehicle race, we've got a showdown happening between China and the US. It's like a high-stakes game of tug-of-war, but with more batteries. Nigeria is joining the party with an emerging market for electric vehicles, and it's clear that the shift towards sustainable transportation is gaining traction. Watch out, world. Now let's steer into a bit of a bumpy road, the controversy surrounding financial crimes involving activist Martin, affectionately known as VDM. It's raising eyebrows and questions about how transparent our beloved government really is. And guess who's in the driver's seat? The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, prowling around to investigate these spicy allegations. As the plot thickens, public reactions to the EFCC statements are as mixed as a fruit salad at a family reunion. Some people think VDM was treated like an unwanted guest at a party. Did he even get a proper invitation? Speculation runs wild about whether the commission's claims are legit, and folks are not backing down. And just when you thought it couldn't get any spicier, it turns out the invitations extended to VDM for some corruption-busting cooperation might as well have been sent via carrier pigeon, unanswered. The EFCC insists they're committed to sorting out these serious allegations, but it feels a bit like a game of hide and seek, doesn't it? Meanwhile, VDM supporters are raising their voices for his release. These protests are about as loud as a marching band on a quiet street. The public is pretty concerned about his treatment, showcasing a growing demand for accountability that even your grandma would approve of. Now, the EFCC is claiming that their motives for VDM's arrest are not related to his activism. Sure. And I suppose my cat isn't trying to steal my sandwich, right? This raises questions about transparency and the agency's credibility, making many wonder if this is a case of you scratch my back, and I'll scratch yours gone too far. But wait, there's more. VDM claims to have spies within the EFCC, like something out of a spy movie. His allegations challenge the agency's ability to operate fairly and effectively, suggesting that corruption may be deeply rooted. This is starting to sound like a plot twist no one saw coming. As the conversation heats up, it emphasizes the need for transparency within the EFCC to prevent wrongful detentions. Nobody wants to be the victim of a bad sitcom plot. Unlawful practices can cause public trust in legal institutions to vanish faster than ice cream on a hot day. But here's the twist: the youth are leading protests, turning into a powerful force for due process and justice. These movements are like the superhero squad we didn't know we needed, aiming to ensure accountability and challenge abuses of power like they're charging in an epic video game. However, there are concerns about the Cybercrime Act being misused to target journalists and activists, causing a Hitchcockian sense of dread. This legislation is like a clingy friend. Too much can infringe on free speech and crush democratic rights like a bad joke at a comedy show. Looking further, the Nigerian Guild of Editors and SERAP are ringing alarm bells over the Cybercrime Act, calling it a tool for intimidation. This points out the urgent need for better law enforcement that doesn't feel like it's from a dystopian novel set in the future. Diving into the Nigerian Constitution, Section 39 champions freedom of expression. But hold the applause, it's not exactly a free-for-all. Individuals need to be aware that certain limits come with benefits, like reading the fine print on a contract. Laws, much like fashion, must evolve to stay relevant. Citizens have the right to advocate for changes when legislation is outdated or fails to protect their rights. It's the essence of a democratic society, like when your favorite band finally plays that one song you've been waiting for. Concerns are also bubbling about how the EFCC treats individuals tangled in corruption and their lack of clear evidence for arrests. This raises bigger questions of transparency and fairness in Nigeria's legal system. Imagine a courtroom where the judge is just winging it. Now, let's shift gears and chat about the role of political power in Nigeria. It seems like those without security or status face consequences that are more severe than forgetting your anniversary. Meanwhile, the powerful seem to slip away like soap in the shower. Evading justice raises tough ethical questions. With calls to review the Cybercrime Act, the spotlight shines brightly on the need for legislative reform that obeys the rule of law. Activist groups are rallying for a legal framework that promotes justice and accountability. Think of them as the Avengers, but with more paperwork. And now let's dive into Yoruba culture, where prostration isn't just a yoga move but a deep-rooted sign of respect and tradition. This cultural practice shapes social interactions, and leaders would do well to brush up on these customs. No one wants to step on cultural toes at a formal dinner.
And speaking of achèvement, let's shine a spotlight on Oluwatilola.
This genius created the world's tiniest GPS tracking device. Talk about a big idea from a little package. It showcases the innovative potential of Nigerian youth, proving that technology is taking Nigeria by storm like a refreshing breeze on a hot day. Finally, who could forget the Met Gala, a dazzling extravaganza that highlights African talent? And let's not skip over Burna Boy's outfit. He showed up like a superstar straight out of a fashion fairy tale. This event truly serves as a platform for celebrating cultural representation, because every day should be a runway.
Now is Oji birthday girl, birthday lady, birthday woman.
I don't know what this is. My birthday was last week.
It was yesterday.
No, it wasn't.
We celebrated yesterday.
My birthday is April 23rd. It was a nice surprise. Good morning, Dr. Patti.
Okay, you are here with stories
you know, this is
trending around the world.
This
Good
is
to
the
see
most
you.
I've celebrated my birthday my entire life, every single day for almost 2 weeks. How are you? Yes, exactly. Thank you guys, really. Good morning. Yeah, and thank you to the Delta State Broadcasting Commission as well. They were the ones who did the surprise for me. Yes, congratulations to them. Our favorite Nigerian wife, good morning this morning.
My very own Jinx. Good morning.
Good morning. Rufy on fire. Guess what?
Jinika.
Guess what?
What?
You know, I saw you testing a cyber truck on Twitter yesterday, and I had to pull up. You said your friend imported is it an electric cyber truck? Fully electric.
Yes.
Where does he charge it? And of course, we want to try to
in the house and everywhere. So
fantastic.
Audrey, you see this narrative of you don't have power to charge electric. It's not true. Audrey, let me shock you. I was downstairs this morning. A car parked close to me. It was an EV. In fact, there's a company called eDrive that they use electric vehicles to do like Uber in Nigeria.
Yes.
And it was a day and he said, if you charge it for you can drive a whole day. This one charges it in his house and he drives it everywhere and drives a cyber truck.
I loved it.
So, these things are coming. This technology is already coming to Nigeria and people are accepting it. They're loving it.
Love it.
And
I mean, we have to
also here makes an
encourage.
EV.
Good.
Nord also has the capacity to make an EV.
Yes. I mean, also speaking about the fact that, the federal government is trying to ban, goods and services for, government officials. I want to encourage our government officials also look into these cars as well. Innocent.
Not the
not the cyber. I'm not asking about the cyber. I think it's a great thing. Yes.
Electric vehicles.
Yes.
It's about clean energy.
Right.
And there's a lot of competition between China and the US and all of that. And it's interesting to see that in Nigeria, a lot of electric vehicles are already on the road.
There are.
When the common sense senator, Ben Bruce, Senator Ben Bruce, he was the first to come up with this idea of electric vehicles. People laughed at him on the floor of the Senate.
Right.
But now we see that technology is the future.
Absolutely.
But I've seen Rufai was saying it now, inside an electric vehicle, you have lost the right to criticize Elon Musk.
Okay.
Because you have lost the right to criticize Elon Musk. Because in America, Elon Musk is being criticized for producing Cybertruck.
No, he's not being criticized for producing Cybertruck. It's because of what he's doing in the Trump government.
They are rejecting Cybertruck. The Cybertruck that people are posing with.
I've seen some people post up those.
You are a friend of Elon Musk.
Yes.
By supporting his business.
So let me shock you, Dr. Abati, with due respect.
Yes.
Go and make the research. The money Elon Musk used to develop all of this company was actually a loan by the Democratic government of the likes of the Barack Obama buildings. So we support clean Democratic government. No, the Democrats actually brought out the loan. But what we're just criticizing what he's doing in the Trump administration.
This is Tesla.
That's Tesla.
You are enjoying Tesla car. Don't criticize Elon Musk.
Dr. Abati on fire.
I'll send you a video
go ahead.
of me over 10 years ago, being driving in the Tesla Model S in the UK.
All
I'll send you that video. So not today, I've always
and
loved
guess
Teslas.
what? I read your disclaimer on Twitter, and you said, please, he doesn't own the car. He was just test driving. I thought it was nice to share. No, I'm saying it for the viewers. It's not Rufai's car. It's for his friend, and it's beautiful to see. Really, I love to see that.
Elon Musk would like to see this video. Please send it
I'll
to
send
him.
it. Love it. Well, all right. I haven't greeted our viewers. Can I do that?
Yes.
Good morning to you, viewers. Let's begin what's trending. Well, in the wake of public outcry following the arrest of activist Martin Sosha, also known as Very Dark Man, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission finally released a statement on Tuesday defending its right to hold him. The EFCC stated in a post on X that VDM was arrested due to petitions involving alleged financial crimes and that he had refused to respond to multiple invitations. Well, the tweet reads in part: The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, in the exercise of its mandate of tackling economic and financial crimes, invited Martins Vincent Osha owing to a series of petitions bordering on sundry issues of alleged financial crimes raised against him. He refused to show up in spite of several invitations sent to him through his known addresses and medium of communication. The petitions pertain to grave allegations of financial malfeasance, which cannot be ignored by the Commission. The EFCC has a lawful right to hold Osha in custody like any other suspect being investigated by the Commission. The appropriate remand order was obtained. In this regard, he has been offered an administrative bail and will be released after fulfilling all the bail conditions. Well, you know, this, of course, tweet has garnered a lot of reactions, Vimbai, really, because a lot of people, you know, were saying, really, was VDM really invited by the EFCC and declined? I mean, because we've seen several videos of VDM, you know, saying that EFCC cannot even invite him in the first place because he has no, you know, charges for any reason whatsoever. But let me take this tweet from Chooks. He wrote, a video has emerged showing that EFCC extended an invitation to Very Dark Man. However, reports suggest that he allegedly refused to acknowledge or respond to the invitation. Well, let's take a look at that video posted by Chooks.
It is noteworthy that the Commission extends an invitation to the ex-convict and the Very Dark Man to come and assist the Commission in unraveling the identities of the officers of the Commission to whom the alleged bribe of the sum of 50 million naira was paid. Regrettably, up to this moment, none of them have honored the invitation. While appreciating the seriousness attached to this incident and the noble steps taken by this Honorable House to unravel the truth contained in this allegation in the viral video for the sanctity of the institution and the nation Nigeria, the Commission wishes to assure this Honorable House and the general public that on our part, we are committed to getting to the root of this matter and appropriate actions will be taken accordingly.
All right. I mean, this was during the saga of Bob Risky. I believe VDM had made some comments at that time, and then you have it here, where the EFCC actually did make a press conference to invite him to their office. Meanwhile, supporters of VDM continued their protests yesterday, demanding his release.
We are outside for VDM 100.
Oh yeah, now let's calm down.
Why are they carrying animals for us? Why are they carrying dogs? They don't even tell. They pour us tear gas. Why are they pouring tear gas? Why? Why would they pour tear gas? Enough is enough. What do we want? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? We no go free, oh, Papa. Free Very Dark Man. We no go free. We no go free, oh. We no go free. Free Very Dark Man. We no go free. Free Very Dark Man. Free Very Dark Man. We no go free, oh. We no go free. Free VDM. We no go free. We no go free, oh. We no go free. Free Very Dark Man. Free Very Dark Man. We no go free, oh. We no go free, oh. We no go free.
Well, Well, that last video there, Vimbai, was in London. And you saw school children. We've seen several videos of people demanding VDM's release. The EFCC also debunked claims that it arrested VDM because of the activists' constant attacks on its operation. I'll read part of their tweet here. They wrote in that statement, "It is needful to admit that the Commission is aware of several unguarded attacks of the suspect against its operation. While such conduct is condemnable, his arrest was not informed by such attacks. The relevant law enforcement agency will be allowed to look into them." Well, here's VDM in several videos that have now gone viral, accusing the EFCC of corruption.
The corruption of EFCC has literally no limits. So basically now, anybody where Tinubu they vex with or APC they vex with, now EFCC they go pursue. EFCC is not competent enough to say they want the whole person for fraud. They don't get that credibility at all. Say there's no agency in Nigeria where corrupt with EFCC. I know say EFCC go they wonder how I take find out, but like I said, I got eyes everywhere and I get informants for everywhere. EFCC are the most corrupt people. Like I said, 90% of them are corrupt. When they are ready to let me prove it, I'll prove it to them. Very dark man defame EFCC, let's go to court, let us go. And we prove it that 90% of you are corrupt. I know you people will be wondering how I found out, but here's the thing. The truth is that I have informants in your office.
All right, there, VDM says, I have informant in your office. I mean, would you blame Nigerians for saying this is the reason why he was picked up? Because on several occasions, he has come out to say that the EFCC is corrupt. Before I come to you, Vimbai, I'll take this final tweet from Excel. He wrote in part, "What's even more suspicious is the EFCC's admission that they are aware of his unguarded attacks. That's the real issue here. VDM speaks truth to power. He calls out corruption, exposes hypocrisy, and disrupts the comfort of those who hide behind institutions to loot with impunity. Now, instead of addressing the rot he has exposed, the system is trying to silence him through a conveniently timed arrest. The Commission talks about remand orders and administrative bail as though they are doing VDM a favor. Let's not get it twisted. Due process is not a privilege. It is a right. If he's been granted bail, why is he still in custody? Or is it yet another example of selective justice and unlawful detention masquerading as procedure?"
There's so many issues muddled up together where this particular case is concerned. But I think the focus is on due process from the EFCC, because if due process is followed, a lot of the other speculation that then begins to happen is subdued. So if you say rightfully EFCC has the right to say that we have information or we have evidence pertaining to X, Y, or Z, they can do that to anybody, no problem. But then if the procedure is followed, then we can sit and observe and wait for the process to play itself out. There's still questions about how he was arrested, because his brother says they were bundled up. It was like a kidnapping. That is still a question mark. Why is the EFCC? Yes, fine. Even if let's assume that he refused to honor the invitation, does that warrant him being bundled up, and being taken to a place that they said for a while they didn't know his whereabouts? So definitely we cannot overestimate the importance. We cannot overestimate the importance of due process. Now, there are so many issues here. The other issue that I wanted to look at was the issue, the protests, right? I think that it's formidable to see young people rising up for what they believe in. And I hope that if there's such an organized group of people with this much passion, that it can be bigger than VDM. I hope that it can be about the core foundation of the issue. As much as this is what has triggered this, it's important for us to also remember that, yes, okay, let's protest free VDM and so forth. It can be anybody tomorrow. So let's remember to have a wider conversation around we're protesting the fact that there needs to be due process in this system. Right. Nobody should be witch hunted or appear to be witch hunted because they want to call out the powers that be. The EFCC maintain that they have a case. Well, let's hear what that case is. Right. And we hope that from now on, things can be done by the book.
Right. Dr. Abati, before I come to you, meanwhile, The Nigerian Guild of Editors and the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project had called on the Tinubu government to stop using Cybercrimes Act to target journalists, activists, and critics. The organization expressed concern over how the Cybercrime Act, particularly Section 24 of cyberstalking, has been used to harass and persecute social media users since its amendment in 2024. They noted an increasing trend of using criminal defamation laws to stifle dissent and bring frivolous lawsuits against critics, posing threats to journalists' safety. NGE and SERAP argue that the Cybercrime Act is inconsistent with Nigeria's constitution and international human rights standards. They called on the government to review and amend the Cybercrime Act to align with constitutional standards, instruct law enforcement to respect citizens' rights, uphold press freedom, ensure access to information, and obey court judgments. Over to you.
Okay, very quickly. I think certain fundamental points to be made. This is the Nigerian Guild of Editors and the Socio-Economic Rights and Economic Rights Agency project complaining about the Cybercrime Act. What they are complaining about is they say it's been abused. Now, if you are complaining about a particular piece of legislation, the place to go is to ask for the abrogation of that particular piece of law. If any piece of legislation is a living subject, and the true test of any law is in its implementation. It is when it is implemented that you can say, oh, this particular law is not in order. So the Nigerian Guild of Editors and SERAP came together, according to the report, and said, look, this law is being abused and being used, cyber stalking, specifically Section 24 of the Cybercrime Act, being used to harass people, to intimidate activists and journalists, and that is also against Section 39 of the Constitution. Section 39 of the Constitution talks about freedom of expression and the right to own a medium of communication. And they also talked about Article 19 of the International Convention on Civil Rights. Article 19 is also basically about freedom of expression. However, it is not President Tinubu that will amend the law. The place to go is the National Assembly. If a law, a piece of legislation is not doing well, the people have the right to say, oh, change this law. We don't want it. If it's not a living law, it will be a dead law. You can always amend laws. However, my position is this. Article 39, Section 39 of the 1999 Constitution, with due respect, that the President, the Nigerian Guild of Editors and SERAP referred to. Under that old Chapter 4, Chapter 2 is non-justiciable, although Femi Falana SAN has said there's a decided case in which Chapter 2 can also be invoked. Now, no law under the Nigerian Constitution gives you absolute rights. You don't have absolute rights. Every law under the Constitution within the jurisdiction has its limits. Right. You cannot say because Section 39 says you can talk. That section does not include the phrase that you can talk anyhow. Yeah. Or that you can abuse the social media to embarrass, impugn the integrity of other people. And that's why we have laws of defamation. I've argued before that maybe the way the police are going about it, when I think it was Benjamin Hundeyin, speaking up for the police, was saying, no, Cybercrime Act, So, and I said, no, they should not abuse it. So it may be in the implementation. But the basic principle is that no citizen in this country has absolute rights. Right. And the organizations in this country, the law enforcement agencies, they have the right to call anybody to task.
All right.
To investigate anybody.
Right.
So, and it will not be right to say, oh, this agency is corrupt. That's why they are investigating. No, that would be an illiterate thing to say.
Well, Rufai, so we can wrap this up. I mean, you can see images there that with, Dele Farotimi, Showore. It's good that Serap at this moment is calling out these sort of, I don't know how to describe it, jungle justice, as it were, in the manner in which they, arrest these people because of cybercrime. I mean, look at that.
100% support Serap.
Yes, Serap and NG.
And I agree that the buck stops with the president. He's the leader of the land. You see, we forget. We can all see that the president does not have anything to do with the court. We forget that the president is supposed to be the moral beacon of any nation. And what happens in any nation falls under the president. I mean, look at all these heinous activities and crimes that are being perpetrated. The high-handedness. What EFCC has done to VDM, is it right? Let's call it speed is speed. They arrested the man. You didn't issue a statement all this while. You said, a fraud, malfeasance and everything. You have not even shown us a charge. You are talking administrative bail. He's not been bailed. We are hearing counter and counter narrative. The truth has to be said. If a man had called that EFCC in the past, that they are corrupt and all of that, didn't the EFCC chairman himself say they have bad eggs amongst them? Why are we talking like we don't live in Nigeria? All you just need to do is to call him to corroborate. So the question we are asking is, what is going on? Is it because the man does not have the paraphernalia of security and states? Didn't the same EFCC try to go and arrest Yaya Bello? Didn't they push them away because military, police meet police? And he was being guarded. Didn't the EFCC chairman, a man that is doing it great, by the way, and I support him. When he started to support the EFCC, I support the EFCC like I supported them a lot in the Yaya Bello situation.
All right.
Didn't he say, I will resign if Yaya Bello is not prosecuted? Today, Yaya Bello's case is already in court. So you see, there's a level of high-handedness. If you don't have power in this country, you suffer and die. If you have power, you go scot-free. Right. President Tinubu, all of this is happening under your watch. I will ask you a question.
All right.
Láyé onígbọ́n nǹkan ṣẹlẹ̀, láyé àrẹ̀sà ní nǹkan ṣẹlẹ̀. So láyé Tinubu ní gbogbo eléyìí ṣẹlẹ̀.
All right.
It's in the era of President Tinubu, all of this happening. We have to speak truth to power.
All right.
Let's call a spade now. What country are we living in?
All right.
Okay. The leader is the moral head of every country. The leader is the moral head.
There are legal processes.
All right.
Law is not emotion.
Fantastic.
We know, but the leader is the moral head.
No.
He's the moral head.
Let's finish this.
What he has done is wrong.
Tinubu cannot amend any law.
No.
The leader is the moral head. That's what we are saying. That's not the question.
Of the legislature.
It's the high-handedness we are talking about.
I'm talking law. I'm not talking emotions.
At the end of the day, Serap and NGE has called for a review of the Cybercrime Act, and that is their point. Really, that's all they're asking for at this point. And I think that it is important for that sort of conversation to begin to take center stage. We're asking for the rule of law to be obeyed. We'll take another story now. Delta State Governor Sheriff Obowori on Tuesday met with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the presidential villa in Abuja. It was his first official visit since defecting from the People's Democratic Party to the All Progressives Congress. Obowori defection last month shook the political landscape in Delta State, a long-standing PDP stronghold. He became the first sitting governor of Delta State to leave the PDP since 1999. Well, in this video that has gone viral, President Tinubu was heard congratulating the governor before they went for a closed-door meeting. Let's take a look. Do you know how this video made me feel, Dr. Abati? I mean, I was not in Nigeria when the governor defected to the APC. And, the Delta State has always been a PDP state. And I heard the commissioner for information at that time saying that, the taste of it's like the taste of palm wine has changed now. And so we have to now change our drinking pattern. But, what can I say? It's politics, right?
I'll be very,
very brief, please.
Number one.
Yes.
Your governor, Obowori, he doesn't know that when you go and meet the president, you must prostrate.
Okay, okay.
He doesn't understand the culture in Yoruba land. Did he prostrate?
No, cultures are different.
No, he should prostrate now. Okay. He should prostrate. Okay. After all, what is this other fellow? Governor Fubara.
That's why I said like, but I didn't call.
Allegedly. Have you seen the video of him?
No, it was confirmed.
Allegedly.
No.
Have you seen the video?
It was confirmed.
Allegedly prostrated.
They said he prostrated.
We didn't see the video.
Next time he goes to see the president.
All right.
Leader of the APC. And he should learn to prostrate.
All right.
That's what we number two.
All right.
I mean, what do you expect? You know, he has led the PDP in Delta to the APC. So, of course, he will go to the president to pay homage.
All right, fantastic. Shall we take our good news report before we wrap up the show, highlighting Oluwatobi Oyinlola, who has made history by developing the world's smallest global positioning system, GPS, tracking device prototype. Oyinlola is a researcher and an innovator at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology in the United States. He set a new Guinness World Record with a device which is believed to have endless possibilities across various industries and sectors. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in a statement on Tuesday, congratulated Oyinlola on the milestone, describing the invention as a testament to the brilliance and potential of Nigerian youth. I mean, look at this. This was so amazing to see, really. I'd like to really find a way to make sure that we keep highlighting these young individuals all the time, really. Well,